everybody. Welcome to Simply Jan Homestead. Today, I am joining in on a collab hosted by the Challenging Kitchen. And it is called the Super CK Collab. And I'm going to tell you what I'm about to make. They're cooling off now. And one of my favorite soups, I affectionately call Italian dump soup. It is so versatile, and you can add anything you want. You know how you have things in your refrigerator you just got to use? It's not bad, but you've got to use it, and you've got to use it now. That's where I'm at. So I'm going to show you how to make this simple, easy peasy recipe, and delicious is an understatement. And just like most soups, the next day it's even better. So we'll get started. All right. First things we're gonna do is I have some garlic and I'm just putting those in there whole. Just about 10 cloves is what I put in. I had some frozen Jimmy Nardello. That's Italian, right? Jimmy Nardello peppers, a little bit of a yellow pepper, and onions. So we're gonna just put those in there, and I have some celery, but I'll put that in a minute, and we're just gonna cook that up at a low heat, and then I'll add the celery to it, and once that's done, I'll bring you back. I have all the vegetables cooked to where I want them. And then I have 4 cups of water with beef bouillon in it. And I know later on you're going to say, beef and pork, Jan? Really? But just stay with me on this one, because it adds such a wonderful, wonderful flavor. So I am going to take these veggies, put them in that water, and it's just going to sit there until I get the meat cooked up. So I'm using a pound of 80/20 lean hamburger meat, and then a pound of hot country sausage. This is so good. I use 1 cup of lentils. I rinse them. It doesn't say you have to. It just says inspect them. But I like to rinse them. And then some whole tomatoes. I'm going to cut those in half. And mushrooms I'm chopping up now. Carrots. Bay leaves. Some fresh rosemary and fresh basil. I may not use all of that. I will go ahead and put the bay leaves in there now, though. But I may not use all that rosemary, and I may not use all that basil. I'm going to make it to our taste. And like I said, that's the beauty of this recipe. You make it however you want. I put Italian seasoning in, and that's why I call it the Italian dump soup. So I'll be back after I get all this meat cooked up, and we'll show you the next step. While that pork is cooking, remember, you could use kielbasa, you could use Italian sausage. I have done that, and it is fabulous. They didn't have it in the store, so I've made it this way before. And I mean, really, y'all, you could do this with beef, you could do it with pork, just, you know, a ham. It is so, so good and so versatile and versatile. Anyway, it's delicious is what I'm trying to say. So I'm going to cook this up, and I just wanted to tell you that because I love this recipe. It's so easy. Well, I had some okra from the garden as it's winding down, and I thought I might as well add that too. I just dumped it in there. And don't drain the liquid out of your tomatoes. You're gonna need that because the lentils are gonna absorb that water. So make sure you have, this is 1 cup of lentils, and for probably 5 cups of liquid. And you want to watch it because you may have to add more liquid, so that's okay. So I've got my lentils in there. I didn't use all the mushrooms because mushrooms can be overpowering. And I'm gonna put, I put all the basil in there, 2 pinches of rosemary. And now I'm cooking the hamburger, and yes, I am cooking it once this is pretty much done with the sausage because I want those flavors to come together. So that's where we're at on that. I don't even have this going yet. I'm just letting it sit there, and then I'll show you what seasonings I add. You could use whatever bean you want. I had lentils, and sometimes I use the 15 bean soup mix, and that works out great too. I just don't use the whole pack because then we'll be eating this for a year. But this is going to be a lot for us, and I will freeze a lot of it. I always say that, and then we always eat it all up. But if we have, let's just say if we have extra, it's gonna get frozen. Okay, the meat's done, and we're putting it in the pan. I don't really drain the meat, but I am scooping it up because I have to be careful of Kevin's fat intake since he had his gallbladder removed. So I am scooping it up. Normally I'd just dump the whole thing in there and call it a day, but a lot of that is grease, and like I said, we gotta be careful. So I'm gonna get the rest of this in here, and then we're gonna season this up. Before I add any seasonings, I taste it, and I want to know, do I need salt? Does it have enough salt somehow? And I tasted this. I am just going to put probably about a teaspoon of salt in. And oh, that's way more than I want. Just about that much salt. I hate when I do that. And now we're going to add some pepper. And like I said, y'all, you know, just do you. Do what you like. Maybe a couple teaspoons of pepper. And we're just going to mix that around real good. And I already know I'm going to need to add more liquid, because that's not going to be enough. So I'm going to add more liquid to that after I get this seasoned up. Now, I like to add ginger, and I have some organic ginger, and I need to get a spoon. And I'm just going to add about a teaspoon of that. The other thing I'm going to add is turmeric, because, well, it's just plain darn good for you. Probably about a tablespoon of that. The next thing I'm going to add is cumin, because cumin makes soup taste so good. Probably about a tablespoon. And we're going to mix that up. And I'm going to taste it. Now I have this on a low heat. I will bring it up a little bit higher and cook this pretty much for about 2-3 hours. So about the time boss gets home, it's tasting good so far. And by the time the boss gets home, it'll be ready. This is paprika. I didn't have smoked paprika, but this is gourmet paprika. And it's really good. The other thing I have is some Italian seasoning. Now this is where I go real easy. I'm going to put about a teaspoon because it can be overwhelming, and I already put the rosemary in there. So I'm just going to do that. If I need to add more, I can always add more, but you can't take it out. And then the next thing I like to do is roasted garlic and herb. Now, this is so good. Now, I'm not going to use all that because, again, I want to make sure it's not salty. You don't want salt. You want this to marry with all the other vegetables and the meat and taste the deliciousness. Let me wipe off my spoon. Oh, yum. That's good. One last thing. Now, just a little bit. Little bit of red pepper flakes. So, there you have it. Again, make it yours. And, you know, put whatever seasonings and spices you want in there. So I'm going to grab some water. We're going to fill this up almost all the way, and we're going to cook it. And I'll let you know how it turns out in the end. Let me tell you, this pairs so well with garlic sticks and fresh garlic sticks. It is so delicious, or garlic bread. So you might want to add that as a side to have with your soup. Shout out to Challenging Kitchen, Rhonda, for putting this soup collab together. It was so time for me to make soup, and I'm excited to be a part of it. Y'all, I'm going to put her link in the description below, right down there. So click on it, go show her some love. Tell her Simply Jan Homestead sent you, and I'm sure you will not be disappointed in her channel. Let's help her grow. Y'all, be blessed and love well. I'm going to go have a bowl of soup because it's awesome. Here, let me just show you real quick. It's done. That was probably about 8 cups of water and broth, but I cannot wait to eat. My favorite soups to make, I affectionately call Italian dump soup. It is so versatile. You can make it whatever you want to make it. And you know how you always run out of, or have, not run out, but you know, let's start that over.